Yo, my peoples, what's up? Welcome to the One Stop Co-op Shop. Jason here, and today I have a solo playthrough for Keystone North America. This one is the initial release from Rose Gauntlet Games, in which you are playing a biologist observing animals in nature. You have all sorts of animals and flora and fauna that come out of this deck. We're going to be drafting them and organizing them into sets on our board, which are going to score geometrically. This one is light to middleweight in terms of its strategy. Think of a Cascadia type of game. You do get some strategy in terms of the skills that you can power off every round and which cards you want to collect and how you want to collect them. And for us solo players, we have a journal, which is going to guide us through a number of different assignments in a campaign style. I am showing the deluxe edition. So with the deluxe edition, you get this nice book, you get the neoprene mat and some other goodies. But if you have the regular edition, you get all the gameplay that I'm going to feature in this solo playthrough. So let's get to some channel announcements, and then I will dive right into the solo playthrough for Keystone North America. Turns in Keystone North America are very easy to understand. You're going to draft a card, you're going to fire off one of the skill powers, and then you're going to pass turn. That's it. Super simple. So let's focus on the card drafting aspect first. So you can draft any one of these 6 cards, and there will always be 6 cards laid out in front of you in terms of options. If you want to draft this rightmost card, it won't cost you anything. So you can just draft it, put it anywhere on your board. It doesn't have to be adjacent to anything else. And then that is it for that portion. If you wanted to draft any of the other cards that are further along, then you have to pay a cost. So let's say you had a couple of these acorn pieces along the way, and they're double-sided, the 3 and the 1. So let's say for whatever reason, I wanted this Atlantic salt marsh snake instead of the giant sequoia. So you would put tokens on here, and then you would draft this card and put it wherever you wanted on your board. On a future turn, anyone else who drafts these cards would get the acorn. So if they wanted to draft a coyote, then they would have to put acorns on these 2 previous cards. They add up a little bit, and then they would get the acorn that is on the coyote. And so what are you drafting, and why are you drafting it? So a number of things to consider, most of which occur on this card. So there are a number of elements. Each card is going to have 1, 2, 3, or 4 different locations that animals can be on. So this coyote can be in everything. There's going to be some animals that can only be on 1 or 2 things. And then you're going to have a number. It is these 4 symbols and this number that determines where you put the card on the symbol and how you build your set. So let's say I put this 3 over here. On future turns, when I draft cards, I'm going to want to draft cards that coordinate horizontally and vertically. So that's not always possible, but you do the best you can. You will score for both of those ends. So let's say I wanted to build on this 3 in future turns, then this would be a nice card to play, which is a 2. So that is in sequence, a direct sequence after and before this number. So I could put it anywhere on here, and then that would constitute the sequence. Doesn't matter if it is forwards or backwards. They both count as long as they are consecutive. This would represent an ecosystem because they share at least one habitat, which is, in this case, is the forest habitat, or the, I believe that is the wetlands habitat. So that would be one ecosystem. But I'm going to want to put that card here because I don't just want an ecosystem of 2. I want to, if possible, stretch the ecosystem the whole row. So on a future turn, I could draft this card. This has a forest symbol. So then this would be a full ecosystem. 1, 2, 3, forest, 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 bam, points. From there are a whole bunch of things that I can do to manipulate, amp up points, etc. There's going to be certain skill cards that can move cards around. Let's say you get a more advantageous number 1. So you want to swap that out, put another one in there. You could do that throughout the course of the game. There will be other skill cards that can add research tokens to certain cards. So let's say you get a research token to be able to add for whatever reason to here. Then you would add the points, be 1, 2, 3, and then 1, 2 over here. That would be a 5-point ecosystem that I'm working on. And if I get a 4, then that would be another thing to add to the ecosystem. Pointing to the name of the game, here is the ecosystem or the Keystone symbol. So keystones in the lore, at least according to I read them, I don't know anything about biology. Everything I know about biology, I learned from this very game. So according to the game, a keystone animal is one that is essential to the ecosystem. So much else within the ecosystem depends on this animal being healthy and thriving. So my coyote is very important for the sequoias and the raccoons, which means that in game terms, let's say I had this set up. So then I will score 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 3 for the tiles and 2 for the research tokens. And then I would score it again. So I absolutely want keystones to be very key in all of my scoring because you end up doing it again. In terms of ways that I stretch out my ecosystem and score even more points, so this is something I could not do. So this would be 3, 2, which would be in sequence, but the entire ecosystem has to be in one order. So that could not count. Also, this does not represent 2 separate ecosystems. I could only score 1 ecosystem per area. So this card would be not relevant to this scoring at all. It would have to only refer to whatever I put here vertically. One thing I could do, though, in each game, you're going to have access to wild card. They cost 10 of these acorns, which is pretty expensive, but they're really flexible. You get your money's worth. So if I put that here, I would have 1, 2, 3, 4 forests, 1, 2, 3 wild, which I could declare as a 4, and that would score my larger ecosystem. In addition, if I were to start adding cards here, then I could make that number whatever I wanted. So then now this is an ecosystem of forest 2, 3, and then I'd go keep on going there. So it could be one number this way, another number that way. Wild cards are cool. You probably noticed more stuff on the cards on the right-hand side. This works a little bit differently. For the most part, those right side symbols coordinate with your personal goal. So this is another source of points that is independent of the ecosystems that you make. This represents that the scientists that are sending you out in the field want these specific things to happen. So in this particular case, I would want 3 spring symbols that are in a certain shape, and I could flip that. That could be like this or whatever, as long as I have some kind of L shape. So I have this coyote right here, and I'm going to want to add eventually, so that I wouldn't be making progress towards any kind of ecosystem, but at the very least, if I did 1, 2, 3, or I put it over on this side, then I would be good to go for that condition. So there are other symbols on here. So you have that L over there. You have another series of seasons that you have to get in a straight line. This one would be 2 endangered that are adjacent to one another diagonally. So that would be like this, the American bison. I know the story of why the American bison's endangered. That's pretty sad. Go ahead and have that conversation at your table. Anyway, for the purposes of the game, then it would be this. And if this one was endangered, then I would be able to score it. And also in this final one, there'd be like these tag symbols. So tag symbols also occur on the right-hand side of the card. So if I had 4 of them anywhere on the board, then I would score. So there is lots of positionality to consider when you are collecting cards and scoring them. After you have placed your 1 card, then you are able to fire off a skill. So then these are common. Anyone can do them. So it creates a little bit of interaction in your game. So a lot of the symbols are going to add these research tokens. So I mentioned them before. That is how you pump up your game. So if you notice that there is a skill that adds certain kinds of cards, in this case the endangered, then you want to collect a lot of endangered so that you can get a lot of points on there. So then I would take this, I would put my points on, I would discard 2 other cards in the row, which is how I get the row moving, and then I would turn it over. The next person would turn this one over, use that skill. The next person, if they wanted to, would use that. If instead I wanted to get a couple of powers at once, I can say, instead of using 1 active power, the white side, I can use the exhausted symbols of the other sides. That would let me use all of these symbols, do whatever it says, and then turn those back over. Doing that, though, progresses the time track. So once again, I could use the skill either one face up, which tends to be a little bit more powerful, discard some cards, or if they're exhausted, I could fire off a bunch, refresh them all, and progress the time track. Depending on where I'm at in the game, I can do either one. And so play is going to proceed until one player fills up their board or until the time track reaches the end turtle shell over here. At that point, every player gets an equal number of turns. You add up your score. Your score is going to be based on scoring off of your horizontals and your verticals, scoring off of this card, and also a spare currency, these acorns. Add it all up, and that is a full game of Keystone North America. The solo mode, it's basically a high score variant. You're playing the game. There's no active bot opposition because as you use the skills, you'll be having to make choices about which cards to discard. What you do is you consult this journal. And in the journal, they have scenarios, and they'll tell you exactly what the special rules are, what assignments or / achievements you want to achieve. So it definitely mixes up gameplay. There are 20 scenarios in this book, so then you have a lot of variety to pursue if you want to play a solo mode of this one. And that's everything we need to know to get started for Keystone North America. Let's dive in. First scenario is Orientation Day. I will leave folks to discover the flavor text on their own. There is a ton. Basically, you're a biologist. You just graduated from school, and they have sent you out to the park. You thought you were going somewhere exciting, but nah. Start at a local park, and then we have all sorts of adventures coming up in a little bit. So in terms of the mechanical setup, it's actually really simple. It tells you which skill tokens to use. And obviously the species cards, there's wild cards, all of them. Some of them will limit the wild cards that you have. Tells you exactly which secret objective card to use. There's 10, so I get to use the 10th and final one. And I start with that many of the acorn currency. So a very basic setup, and as you go through, they will mix things up, vary up your experience. The threshold is also really simple. End the game with 50 or more victory points. Not as hard. The game can be pretty overwhelming because it tempts you to like, oh, I got to get everything. Every line has to score. Every combination has to be, I have to make these big ecosystems. Really, you're going to find just do the best you can and really play the Keystone game. The game is called Keystone for a reason. So in this opening deal, I happen to get this really nice card. It doesn't, well, actually it does, if I wanted to, it would coordinate with my personal goal. That way, if I could make an L off of it, and it gives me a good start, and it is the highest number 5, so it's worth it to put it in a corner somewhere. So let's go ahead and draft that one and put it here. So I don't have, well, actually, wait a minute. I do. I have a 4 right there, and it links up with the forest, so I might want to do that next turn. That's the card draft, is my turn, and now I look at the 3 skills. No use moving stuff around, that's what that symbol is. I don't have any endangered, so there's no use putting that one, but I have this nice fat, get 8 more acorn points. I start with 5, so that is my 8 points. That gives me 13 total, which puts me very much within realm of getting a wild. As a part of that, though, I do have to discard 3 cards from the river, which at this point is a relatively easy position. As I pointed out before, this Canada link seems to link pretty well with my 5 through the forest area. So I can get rid of 1, 2, and let's get rid of this one because it has a winter symbol. Right now, my personal goals don't align with that. So then I move all of the cards down and re-deal some more. And that is a full first turn of Keystone. Let's do it. I haven't spent any of my acorns yet, and I plan on keeping that going as long as I can. So I have the Canada links. I'm going to put that right there. I have my sequence. I have my ecosystem. And by matching these 2 symbols, I get 1 acorn more. And so now I can take advantage of this skill. So this lets me put 2 research tokens, which are bonus points, on a card that has that endangered symbol. So there we go. Right there, I have matched the symbols. And because it is in a Keystone row, you can bet your buns I'm going to finish this and score that again. And that's going to be one of my high scoring areas right at the start, which I love getting that out of the way. So then as part of that, I got to get rid of 2 cards from the river and then flip that down and pass my turn eventually. But then I still get to get rid of cards. That Wolverine's definitely getting out of here. Don't need that at all. You have no other relevant symbols. And I think I'm going to get rid of this one. My scoring card says I need to have 4 tags, so I need to be a little bit careful, but I want to preserve the spring icons over here in case I need to fulfill that one a little bit later on or elsewhere in the tableau. There's a lot to think about in this one, so you're always giving up something good. That's the key. You can't do everything. Just figure out what things are the best that you can do for what you got. So we got the red squirrel. We got, a musk ox. That's okay. Got the tag and the right season. And the northern greed frog, another tag, but an off symbol. So I need a number 3 in a forest, which is not in the row currently. I don't have to draft it right now, but there is a benefit to building adjacently because you do get to build up your tokens. So let's get this over with now. So I'm going to spend 10 whole tokens on a forest woodland wild card. There you go. The cost is -10. And put that one there. So that is going to be a 3. So another reason I wanted to put this as a wild is because putting a 3 here limits your options. You can't build the 4 length ecosystem because 5 is the highest number. But this could start as a 5 or it could start as a 1. So having that there gives me a lot of flexibility. And I also get a token for a matching, sorry about that. Got the 1 for the adjacent symbol. Now for my skill power, I get to move cards twice. In the late game, this is super essential. In the early game, not so much. What this is good for is building up your token pile. So then I could say I'm going to move this once and I'm going to move this again. You score for your, or not score, but you get tokens each time you do a match. So then I will get 2 more tokens, bringing me up to 7 total for those 2 movements. I also have to get rid of 1 card in the row. That 1 card is going to be this American red squirrel that is happening in fall. I need fall, but I actually like these 3. This is an ecosystem right here that just kind of like landed naturally. So if I just draft cards out of here, I'll be able to be pretty efficient with my tokens, which is the part of the name of the game. Keep those tokens coming in. All right, for my next draft, I'm going to take advantage of the fact that I built up some acorns. So let's put some acorns over here and get this bumblebee. Bumblebee is nice. Look at all these locations and a keystone. Perfect. Let's put them here because it matches 3 symbols. So matching 3 symbols gets me all those acorns back that I spent getting this thing. And I get to do the refresh. So that means I get to do all these actions. These tend to be slightly less powerful versions of the flip side actions, but you can do all of them. So I am going to do this one, which is place a research token on my wild space, which I have a wild space. You're going to see a research token right there. Fantastic. And then I don't have another endangered token. You can't just pile them on the same one. It has to be an unresearched one. And there weren't that many in the row. So that one doesn't get fired off. But I am going to use this one. This is not an ecosystem play because this is 5-1. No wrapping, no cheating there. But let's go ahead and put it here so that we can do it 4, 3, 2, 1 eventually from either the forest or the winter area. Resetting does not make me discard cards, so I just get to fill 1 more, another keystone. All right. This is a full ecosystem on its own that I am looking at, so let's take advantage. Get the token back that I drafted and draft the Black Willow. Put it here for now. It's not going to stay there, but it will eventually go here, so I can build that way. That nukes this column for anything useful, but that's okay. That's one of the sacrifices you have to make. That gets me 1 token. As you can see, I've been slowly building up my token pile. I'm sitting at 9, and I'm about to sit at 17 tokens. So we are going to take that skill and grab 8 more points. So then we just make that look like 17, 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 16, 17. Boom, done. So I have to nuke 2 cards in response to that. Actually, I have to nuke 3 cards. So Too bad to say goodbye to this tag, but you can't get everything. Don't like you, Winter. Can't do much with you. I'm going to nuke these back 3 because I'm working on those 2 for the ecosystem. And then we get a whole new pile. 2 with a tag. That's nice. This has a forest, which is okay. And then more tags. Nothing in danger. Actually, wait a minute. Black-footed ferret endangered. Might have to prioritize you. All right, so my next go around, let's go ahead and get that cottontail rabbit going. Here's why. Tokens, more tokens. I love tokens. Beautiful. There are also points at the end of the game, so that is very cool. So let's go ahead and draft the movement tile, which gives me 2 moves on the board. So we are going to move that over here and get 3 more tokens and set up that 1, 2, 3, 4 row that I was looking at before. And we're going to put that here and begin that ecosystem right there, which gets me 1 more token. This tile told me to nuke a card, and actually helpfully tells me that on the other side too, just on the bottom. So I will nuke this Sidewinder Rattlesnake, move it down. I'm pretty flexible in what I can get so far, so I'm not specifically rooting for stuff. I should be. Long-term planners will really have a field day kind of rooting for cards and knowing what to discard, etc. I just know I'm very excited about this coyote. I'm drafting it eventually, but not for now. Next round, I'm going to draft this black-footed ferret and take advantage of the fact that it is endangered. You are safe with me, Blackfoot Ferret. Enjoy the honey of my bumblebees. I'll take care of you. No, I don't want your care. Get away from me. I can't believe you don't like my honey. Okay, fine. Especially because I get points. Woo! So then I'll use this tile. Want to be able to coordinate that. Keep those. Make sure you keep those scoring conditions in mind. So that is 2. And the exclamation point on there. Throw away 2 cards in the river. That's going to be these back 2 because I don't have a ton of use for 1s right now. So we're going to slide these over. Mighty Arctic Wolf. That is a Keystone. Definitely want to keep an eye on that. Wood Duck and Spruce Fir Moss Spider. Ooh, another endangered one. Ugh, spiders. Oh, do I want them? So I will have noted this in the camera work earlier, but buying a wild card does not cost your action for the turn. It's not a substitute for buying anything from the river. So I'm going to spend my 10 tokens. I got plenty. I got 12 left. And we continue some of my ecosystem building. Actually, never mind. Let's do that one instead because I want to keep that combo going. It would punt this. I wouldn't be able to stretch it all the way to the beginning. That was kind of ambitious anyway. Can't do everything. But this one is going to score. If I can get a nice 4 over here, then that is a good deal there. So let's make the big move. Coyote. So I got 2 tokens for that. We got 1, 2. Brings me down to 10, so that's fine. I'm going to put it here. I have matched 1, 2, 3, 4 symbols, so I get 4 more. Why did I put it there? Because I have the skill refresh coming. So let's go ahead and turn over all 3. This lets me put a research token on a wild token, which I just bought that wild card, so you get a token. You get a token. And this one I did not get another endangered, but I did get a free movement of a card, and that's going to go here. So we matched 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 symbols. 3, 4, 5. I am feeling super flush. But there will always be not enough because these are also points. So I do not feel bad about piling these up. And in addition, that lets me get 1, 2, 3, which satisfies 1 condition of the scoring card. So I'm not doing that great on tags. I might not get this, but I should probably have 2, maybe even 3 by now. I only have the 1. Haven't gotten any of these. Boo! But there's plenty of room to get at least 1 more endangered card. So I'll try to get 2, hopefully 3. We'll shoot the moon for 4. We'll see what happens. All right, but for now, I finally have a use for this one. So we're going to go ahead and get these 4 back. That makes 4 right there. And get the North American River Otter that's been sitting there for a while. Keystone, too. Let's place it here. And that gets me 3 tokens. Move that 1 to a 3. And we are going to select the move skill. So I get to move 2. So that's actually going to be moving this one out of the way to make an ecosystem right there. 1, 2, 3. And that gets me 1 token. And then I'm going to move this one here. Let's build this one out. That is also a match. So that is another 1. So this breaks this because these don't match. But you can't do everything. Kind of a mantra of the game. I discard 1 card. As much as I like the majestic Arctic Wolf, no thanks. No points for me. Ooh, a 3 and a tag and a little thing right here. Oh, I might absolutely go for this one. And a 5, another autumn. So that might be my ticket towards at least that particular scoring condition. So let's put a token on this doll sheep for the wood duck. The wood duck goes right there. Nope. Wait, yep. 5, 4, 3, 2. Fantastic. Boom. Have the combo. Got the keystone is right there. Love it. And it looks like if I build this at all, it's going to go right down there. With the wood duck draft, that's going to be 8 more tokens. I got 25. So that's going to be a grand total of 33 coming in, which is absolutely fabulous. I could buy whatever I want or just get the points. So then that is going to be 3 X's or 3 that I'm going to discard. So we're going to say goodbye to the dream of getting 4 tags. Get rid of whatever tags. 1, 3. I don't like 1s. So this would satisfy the condition of this one. If I put it in the right position, but single cards can't be ecosystems. So you can't just put it there and be like, okay, that's my ecosystem. That doesn't work. So I'm just rolling the bones, baby. I'll see if I can get something good. Emperor Goose, not endangered. Woodland Caribou, endangered. Decent symbol. You have a strong possibility. Snowy Owl, and the Atlantic Salt Marsh Snake, another endangered one. Okay, I have some options. So I'm going to spend 3, 6, 9, 10 on a wild habitat first. That's going to be this wetland river. That is going to go down here and complete this area right down there. That's not as powerful because it's not a lot of tokens or a keystone, but it's something. What it does let me do, though, is I'm going to spend 1 token. Actually, no, I'm not going to spend the 1 token. I'm going to go here. I'm going to get this alligator snapping turtle and put it there. That's an ecosystem, 2, 3, 4. Nothing doesn't match there, but that's fine. I get 1, 2, 3 for autumn, so I got 2 of these things. Booyah! Am I going to get a 3rd? Who the heck knows? I get 2 tokens, so flip from 1 to 3. For this match, fortunately, you cannot execute an empty action. I did not get an endangered symbol this turn, so I got to do this, which I can't do that, but I can put a research token on the wild that I acquired this turn. We're going to go ahead and flip. So that is a little bit of a premature ending to the round, but I should have plenty of turns to fill up my ecosystem. I have 1 missing card this turn, and that's going to be the black-tailed prairie dog. Ugh, don't think you're going to help me with that one. So as it turns out, I have a couple of thriving ecosystem, and the rest is garbage. Which I guess is the point. I guess that's what happens in this game. So 3 spots left on my board. We are in do the best that you can mode. Let's go ahead and get this woodland caribou and place it here. There is a bunch of reasons for that. First of all, this is an official ecosystem. A single card can't be, but this is. That's nice. It is a keystone, so it will score twice for whatever that's worth. What do I get? 1, 2, 3 tokens for that placement. And I'm going to supplement that with acquisition of this tile. 2 research tokens on an endangered species. That is points. Oh, and also, exclamation point, I have done 3. I will not get 4, but 3 out of 4 is not bad. 16 points is better than 10. And so I get rid of 2. At this point, the best that I can do is get 2 more tags. I don't think I can make any more viable ecosystems, so I'm hopeful that we get 1 more tag out of the pile. Aspen, not a tag. American bison, not a tag. And long-tailed weasel. Boo! We got 2 spots left. Here's the tag. Don't have to spend anything for it. You get me nothing except for a token. because of this match right there. Oh, sorry about that over here. But I do have 1, 2, 3 tags, and I have some shots at getting another one because I'm taking this one. I'm going to get 8 more of these things. I have 24 currently. Let's go ahead and make 31. And get rid of these 3 cards. Completely useless. Come on, tag. Move these down. Come on. 1, not a tag. 2. Oh. 3. How rich would it be all the way at the end? I didn't get nothing at the end. Oh well. The only way that I could score here is to get a wild token, so I can make like a 1-2 and a 1-2. That would be ecosystems, but this ecosystem is going this way, so this one is occupied. I could make this, and that would be its own ecosystem, but I get a point for every 3 of these. It would cost me 3 points to get a wild token, so it's just not worth it. So let's just do this. We're going to spend 1, 2, cash that in. 3, 4, and grab this one all the way down here. That would make this an ecosystem. That'd be worth 2 points. So I traded 1 point for 2, salvaged. And that is the end of the game. And so here is the final scoring. I blew away that 50-point threshold with 85. What helped me? I have a row over here, or column, with 2 keystones right there. So I was able to do 4, 3, 2, 1, all of forest, 4, 5, 6, times 3 is 18. Also 14 for this row right here. This one was also a good number of points. The keystones are just really important. That's why I put this B over here and built around it. So yeah, I blew it away. I've played this a couple of times. I've played into the advanced scenario book. Lots more challenge. The thresholds are higher. Limitations are higher. I will leave you to explore all of that on your own. If you are in the market for a nature-themed game on the weight of a Cascadia, this isn't going to rise to the level of a Wingspan or an Earth, which are 2 of my favorite, more involved games. This one is much more accessible. The turns are breezy. I think this is a good one for family that are into advanced games, but they don't want a whole bunch of crunch and headspace in their weekly gaming. I hope this playthrough has given you enough information so that you can see whether this is worth your gaming dollar. But I can definitely say it is worth a play if you're interested. This is Jason with the One Stop Co-op Shop, reminding you that we'll see you at the next stop.